first time in 3 years, Formula 1 returns to Albert Park, Melbourne, Australia for the Australian Grand Prix. We're last year in 2020 when something weird happened that we'll not talk about. This is the Final Corner podcast. I'm joined always by Tom and by Nick.
Good evening.
Hello.
Is that
Teletubbies?
Yeah, Teletubbies.
It was a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know where that came from.
Albert Park, Australia, reprofiled.
Mm.
Did you like the changes, first of all?
Yes, but I'm not sure if it helped the racing or not, but I think it flows better.
I think if I was a driver I would, but I'm not, so I didn't.
Yeah. The prospect of Ford DRS ones was quite exciting before the weekend, but then they removed probably the most interesting one for safety. Between the fast, almost straight bit before turn 9 and 10 chicane.
Yeah, Lakeside Drive.
Is that what it's called? Yeah, that would have been cool if they'd kept that. I think that would have spiced up the race a bit more, but safety and all.
For me, in there, the fast bit where there used to be a slow right-left,
Yeah.
that was never really an overtaking opportunity. But turn 9 and 10 definitely isn't, because they're too quick. And so all now what's happened is turn 8's been smoothed out. Then they have the Lakeside Drive bit. So you've got all this crazy speed building to a corner that's too shallow. So maybe turn 9 could have been a tighter stop. I know that would have ruined the flow, but effectively there was only, 2 maybe overtaking opportunities? Basically, after turn 3, you can't do anything until turn 11.
Yeah, I do know what you mean.
Yeah, I do think that middle DRS zone would have made it interesting because people would have been forced to be side by side going into there at that point.
Mm-hmm.
True, but even if you're side by side there, it's still a bit sketchy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like turn 9 just needs to be a bit tighter, a bit more cute.
Yeah, Perez went past Hamilton, I think, wasn't it? Going along there.
He did. But the Mercedes was so slow in its top speed that exaggerated things a bit. Whereas if the cars that are quite similar paced, you can't do anything now. Even in the Australian Supercars Support Series, that really hampered their races, I think. They had exciting races because of tyre degradation, but not because of the track layout.
Yeah.
So it's like, on the changes for this year. I like the track.
Yeah, I'm a bit down in comparison to Nick, but sorry.
They've pulled a lot of the barriers in Coaster as well, noticed, which makes it feel a bit more streety.
I actually did like that because there's more jeopardy.
Yeah. So there's no runoff at the exit of turn 2 or the exit of turn 6 anymore, but there used to be. So it makes it more like, yeah, you're sticking to the track here, and it is a street circuit, which I thought was nice.
It felt like turn 14, the final corners wall was a bit closer, but no one really clobbered it.
No.
Maybe they've not moved the wall, but if they've added extra padding there, I'm not sure. And turn 11, which is now tighter, which is good. That runoff area seemed to be catching quite a few people out across the weekend, didn't it?
Yeah.
And like Hamilton scripted it in practice. I think Vettel did crash. Alonso crashed.
Yeah, I think in a lot of the places the track wasn't so much brought in, the walls weren't brought in. The track was actually widened.
Right.
They widened a lot of the track to try and make the apexes a bit more open to allow possible side-by-side racing.
But some of the more open apices just meant for less opportunity because they're able to carry a bit more speed into the corner.
Yeah.
Which is a bit weird.
Yeah. I see the logic of it, but it didn't seem to really work.
Yeah.
The only one that made
like
sense...
turn 3 is
That's what I was going to say. The only one that really made sense, I thought, was opening up turn 1 to avoid those first lap, first corner instance.
But that's the best part, Australia.
True.
You can understand my frustration when I got up again at 6 o'clock in the morning for that, expecting to pile up at turn 1 and nothing happened. It's a shame. I think the only real bit of news, well, there's a couple of bits. Drivers' pants are really important now and will be spot checked. Drivers' jewellery is really important and will be spot checked. And there's a Max Verstappen rule for safety cars now. Tom,
yes.
Is that you can't overlap next to someone?
And you're really puzzled about the pants and jewellery part. Have you not heard about this?
I didn't hear that news. No, this is what Could you enlighten me about the pants, please?
There's a rule that your underwear has to be of a certain material so they're not to cause a fire risk, and nobody knew it was a rule. But the new race director is adamant that he's going to enforce it. So
Gone through the book with a fine tooth comb.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also, you're not supposed to wear jewellery in the car, which he's apparently clamping down on. But Lewis Hamilton has said that some of his earrings are actually welded in, so they would have to be cut out.
Wow.
So I'm not sure what's going to happen with that, because this guy is basically taking the stance. If it's a rule, I'm enforcing it, no matter what it is. So pants and jewellery, very important.
Yes. Spot check on pants does sound a bit dodgy, though, doesn't it?
It does.
Well, when you put it like that.
Yeah, it's more just sort of like, are these clean?
So, qualifying, we started off with a bit more of Lance Stroll stupidity, with one of the daftest crashes I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
So Latifi pulls over in the car park to let Stroll go through because he thinks he's on a fast lap. Stroll goes past, then he slows down, and Latifi tries to overtake him. Which, to be fair, I think Latifi probably overtook him on the racing line, but he tried to take him on the right-hand side of him.
Yeah.
Stroll jinks to the right to try and avoid, I think, an Alfa Romeo that's coming through at pace, and completely wipes out the Williams.
Yes, although Stroll later said that he wasn't trying to let the Alfa Romeo through. He didn't see an Alfa Romeo, which made it even worse.
So he was just being really stupid then.
Yes.
From some angles, I thought it was a bit of a 50-50, but there's the behind shot.
Yeah.
It's really telling because he just turns right.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I always think that if you hit someone's rear wheel with your front wheel, you can't claim to not be at fault.
Right. Which he did.
Yeah.
Latifi just hit me, man.
Yeah.
The only one that I would give him a pass on is the Vettel one from a few years ago, which was similar, but he didn't change his line. You remember Malaysia after the race where he basically lost Vettel gearbox and pretty much ruined his championship.
That was a deep cut.
Yeah. Do you not remember that one?
I do now, yeah. I didn't when you missed it. Did that cost Vettel a championship?
Well, it cost him a gearbox and a good penalty, and it all kind of fell away for there when he was in the Ferrari. He was probably lost it anyway, but it didn't help him. But it was just last week we were talking about Stroll's complete lack of awareness.
Yeah.
And he goes and does that in Q1.
But both Astons were all over the place all weekend, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Seb had an excuse.
This one
to be fair.
was. Yeah. Well, yeah. This one, I think the car is difficult to drive, but this was nothing to do with that.
No, it was just.
It was confusing with Latifi doing whatever he was doing.
Oh yeah, that was definitely odd from his point of view, but.
Yeah, I mean, there should definitely been better communication between the pit wall and him for what was going on, because he obviously thought Stroll was on a fast lap, and he wasn't. Strange.
Yeah, he was being told Stroll is closing, let him through. And then as soon as he went through, he said no, he slowed down. So he's, I was going to say race director.
Engineer?
Thank you. That's the word I was after. Yeah, he was told to re-overtake Stroll.
Yeah,
and then that happened.
Latifi was doing what he was told, but it was just but there was some confusion from the Williams team there.
Yeah.
Yep. Q1 lost Kevin Magnussen in a bit of a shock. Haas didn't have the pace this weekend, couldn't get the car set up at all. Also lost Vettel, Latifi, Stroll, and Alex Albon, but Albon was then disqualified from quali for not having enough fuel in his car.
He ran out of fuel after the session, didn't he? Couldn't get back to the pits on the track. Is that correct?
I think so. I know he stopped out on track and he didn't have enough fuel to provide a sample, but I didn't see anywhere why he stopped. But I can only assume it was a lack of fuel.
Yeah, it would make sense. The Haas thing, just to touch upon that, if that's okay. This is why, if you've got a quick car at the start of the season, you have to maximise every opportunity. They might, who knows, they might not score a point now for the rest of the year. But let's hope not. And also, let's hope it's just a track-specific thing, which is what we would like to see this season, with different cars suiting different layouts. That would be good.
It certainly seems that
I think
way.
it's also worth noting that Vettel was not in the session, but because of the red flag with the Stroll crash, they could finish his car.
Yeah.
So Stroll helped him out a bit there. Although he was very low and running because didn't he have a technical issue first pre-practice? Then because of that, didn't they miss the second one? Then didn't he crash in the third one?
Yep.
So that's a weekend to forget right there for Vettel.
Yeah.
Plus, he got a $5,000 fine for doing Grand Theft Auto on a scooter.
Yeah.
What was the fine for? Was it for riding a scooter, or was it for not wearing a helmet?
No, for being on track without permission.
Ah, interesting.
You're not allowed on the track without permission from a marshal who needs permission from the race director to be able to let you on. And he didn't get that.
Right.
He just took the scooter and went.
Yeah.
There.
He just saw an opportunity to create some memes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why else? Why else is he still here? It's cool.
That's
it's
a very
cool
good
not
point.
going to beat you win in that car. Q2 we lost both the Alpha Tauris. I almost said Alpines there. Alpha Tauris. Was Bottas and Zhou as well, and Mick. Then Q3.
Just quickly, Schumacher out-qualified Magnussen.
He did.
Yeah.
Is a fair cop.
Well done.
But Alfa Romeo, again, like Haas, haven't maybe maximised the first 2 rounds as best as they could when they did have a bit of an advantage, and now, in qualifying at least, a bit lacking.
Yeah. Apparently there was issues with their qualifying which put them further down, but no one said what these issues were.
Okay. Oh, well, let's hope it's just a setup thing or a engine map setting that's wrong or something weird.
Q3 then, and it looked like Fernando Alonso was going to be towards the front. I think he was on a flyer of a lap that was going to be top 4 by the looks of it. But I think something daft broke, like it was like a seal in a pipe or something that lost his power steering at turn 11 and he went straight into the wall.
Yeah.
Which is just...
He couldn't downshift either. Like, if you watch the onboard, he gets to 4th and doesn't go down any further gears. So, he doesn't have the engine braking as well as the brakes. And actually, I just watched which I didn't see in the broadcast, but the best of the onboards on the Formula 1 YouTube channel.
Yeah,
has like the helmet cam view.
Just saw that myself.
Yeah, did you hear it? Basically, as he's braking, it sounds like the engine goes
Yeah.
completely, like it goes silent, doesn't it? So he's got no retardation from the engine at all. Very unlucky. Because he was purple in Sector 2, like outright, even at the end of the session, no one beat his Sector 2 time.
Yeah.
Which I did think he was on Twitter, wasn't he, thinking,
Yeah.
or alluding to someone tweet saying he could have been on pole. I'm not sure, but certainly was good.
Yeah, it's definitely up there to be in contention. It's a shame he didn't get to finish it.
Apparently the part only cost £1.50.
Yeah.
So...
Well, I don't believe that,
No, you-
because there's no part in Formula 1 that costs £1.50.
Maybe pay £2 next time.
Yeah.
Carlos Sainz had a shocker. I think he
Oh,
had
yeah.
problems with the car, and then he got caught out with a red flag, and then his second run was just crap.
Made
So
a
he
mistake
ended
on the
up
run.
ninth.
Yeah.
Both McLarens though, in
Yeah.
the top 10, 4th for Norris, 7th for Ricardo, and Charles Leclerc takes fastest lap from Max Verstappen.
3/10.
Hamilton also beat Russell as well.
Which he didn't look like he was going to do. Until the last minute.
Yeah. Only your fastest lap counts, though.
Indeed.
Even though the commentators and media sometimes hype that up.
Yes.
You know, far too early in the session, sometimes they get too excited.
Sometimes.
McLaren, though, did you not find that a bit weird?
Yeah, I think someone said afterwards it was basically 80% track and 20% understanding the car a little bit better. So their big problem is low speed corners, and there isn't really any here. There's turn 3 and then
Penultimate
the
corner.
penultimate corner. Yeah, that's it. The rest is actually quite well suited to their car.
Oh, yeah, that whole middle section now is just fast and flowing, isn't it?
Yeah. So they think it was more track, but they think they're starting to understand where it's going. Same, a couple of the teams have said afterwards they're starting to understand things better, although this is a bit of a unique track for setup.
Yeah, Norris said after the race, like, someone asked him, oh, you know, is this giving you more confidence for the next races? And he went, no, we've still got the same car.
Yeah.
Oh, ever the optimist.
Yeah.
So I think Stroll got a good penalty for his crash in qualifying. Albon had a good penalty from the last race, but he was disqualified, so started last anyway. No changes at the top, so decent start for Leclerc and Leclerc and Verstappen, but Perez gets a great start going round the left hand side of Max, but then just gets pinned but has to back out of it, which lets the loose for into third. Russell was really aggressive on Norris into turn one as well and took that. And I think Bottas got a relatively decent start. Sainz had a shocker. I think he went down to like 14th.
Sainz, apparently they changed his steering wheel just before the start of the race. And a lot of the switches were all in the wrong positions.
Oh, very good.
That's why he got anti-stall at the start. So yeah, it's not ideal.
That's interesting. I think, wasn't he on the hard tyre as well?
He was, yeah.
So even with the bad start, then further around the lap, he might have been struggling relative to the people he was racing.
He had problems with warm-up as well on the opening lap because of being on the hard tyre. He couldn't get the heat into them, which then contributed to what happened next to him.
Oh, what a shocker of a weekend. So lap 2, he's coming up towards turn 9. I can't remember who's close behind. I think it might be an Alfa Romeo. He goes in way too hot, crosses the grass, spins, almost collects the Alfa Romeo, and then beats on the gravel on the exit of turn 10. And he ain't moving from there.
No.
He did ask for a push, I noticed, and he didn't get one.
Yes.
Ever the optimist.
If I remember correctly, isn't that banned in the rules? Or you can be pushed, but then you're out of the race? Or if that changed? It used to be a long, long time ago.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I remember Michael Schumacher asking for one in Malaysia, was it?
See, I can't remember who it was, but it was a long time ago. As in possibly 80s or 90s.
Oh no, I'm thinking
someone got a push and they got disqualified for it.
Ah, okay. Actually, I'm thinking of Nürburgring.
2008.
Well, 2008, someone got disqualified, did they?
No. But is that not the one that everyone went spinning off at turn 1 because of the rain?
Oh,
Sure.
didn't Hamilton stay in the car and then...
Yes.
He got out, but I'm not sure if he got a push. But he got out and he finished like in the points.
I think they hoisted him, didn't they?
Mm.
He didn't get a push. They actually lifted him out of the gravel.
Well,
but yeah,
that's one to research for another time.
We digress.
Yeah. So he's out, which brings out a safety car. And that's just... Well, that's his title ambitions over already.
How bad was that mistake, though? It's only a slight wiggle, but then I think he's too quick on the grass. Benefit of hindsight. He probably hasn't been on the grass all weekend, but still.
Yeah. I mean, he got a... Did not get a spin just as... Or the rear end stepped out just if he was going off the grass. Which is what ended up putting him out. Magnussen later managed to avoid that.
Yeah, he did the same little move, but was fine.
Yeah. So, safety car, first of the race. Perfect restart of Leclerc. Not much to say there. Perez eventually gets Hamilton. Pretty straightforward. But towards the end of the first stint, Mercedes start closing in on the Red Bulls again.
Yeah, massively as well.
So the Red Bulls were eating the tyres.
Lap 11, Vettel then has an off at turn 11 as he says he's struggling to get a hang of the braking. I think someone had said at this point he had only done like 21 laps all weekend.
Yeah.
Well, 21 laps all season since he missed the first two. So you can forgive some of Seb's troubles. This one. Magnussen then pulls the signs, going across the grass, keeps it going and loses one place. And then the first round, the pit stop start. Perez pits before Hamilton and Hamilton gets ahead. Ricciardo's pit stop was interesting because he came out the pit lane, parked it on the apex of turn 1, and Albon almost ran out the back of him.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
I thought it was a little bit too tentative from Albon there, a bit.
Yeah, it's like he didn't know which way to go. And it let Stroll get past him. But
yeah,
I noticed that, I can't remember who it was, but someone had obviously learned from that at one of the safety cars later. As they were coming down the pit straight, they cut across the pit exit line to obviously try and block if anyone had pitted to come out.
Oh, right. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I did see that and I wondered what was happening, but yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, which I'm not sure you're allowed to do. But someone was trying it. So Perez then catches up on Hamilton and overtakes him towards turn 9. just before they go in, but he runs a bit wide through the first part, which compromises his line for the second. Hamilton sets him up perfectly to take the position back, and as soon as he's about to do it, safety car.
Yep.
Which
Yes.
they then cut to Vettel, who's parked up nicely at the side of the road, and then we see a replay.
I was thinking, he's broken down.
Yes.
It looked like it, didn't it?
Yeah,
He
we then
hasn't
get the
broken down.
replay. We get it's like the perfect F1 video game crash at that corner,
Yes.
where you bounce over the curb at the car park and it sends you to that barrier on the left. And
Yes, which I think we've all done.
Yes. Oh, definitely. But it pretty sure it shut off the car, didn't it? It's like he only hit the front end, but it pretty much killed the car.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, good point, actually. We didn't get a
Yeah.
new nose cone or something.
No, I'm pretty sure it shut the engine off, which I thought was weird.
Yeah, it's a good point. I didn't even notice that, but you are right.
It's a bit weird, but well, the Aston, I think they went through about 40 white front wings that weekend.
Oh, they got
so
no parts left. That'll
True.
be it, yeah.
I think they're struggling. You can kind of forgive Seb for his lack of running and having such a bad weekend, but that car looks like a complete pig's ear.
I mean, McLaren's looked nearly as bad, but then in this track, at least they've got some hope that on certain circuits they'll be okay. Aston Martin hasn't even got that.
No, it's the worst start of a season for them since 2009.
Fun fact.
Yeah, 0 points in 2009 after 3 races, and it's the same now.
Yeah, but that was the year when Fisichella got pole position, so it's
It's
Yes, I was just thinking that.
it's Spa,
Same year.
so there's still hope.
Is there though?
Probably not. So, safety car, identical restart, except Leclerc gets understeer through the final corner, which looks like he's about to let Max go through. Max is on the outside going into turn 1, and I thought he was really tentative. Like, if that was Lewis Hamilton who's trying to get past last year, he would not have backed out of that into turn 1. Like, he would have rather put it in the gravel than back out, and he backed out.
I see the point.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that at the time necessarily, but he didn't even try and go side by side through it. There was no ruthlessness. Maybe he was thinking, if I get the lead, fine, but if it's not obvious, I'm just going to get second place. Which is a very un-Max thing, but maybe he's matured.
Maybe.
Yeah. Because I think that is the right thing to do, is not to gamble around the outside there.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's not the Max thing to do from last year. Yeah.
It's not quite the same Max we've seen so far. He has been a bit
Subdued.
more calculated and a bit subdued. I think he's a bit down about his car as well.
Yeah, mentally.
yeah.
I think he's a bit not in the right place.
Which I think he's right to be, because about 10 laps later, his engine goes again. This time with a fluid leak. Don't think Red Bull know what went wrong though, so I think they've actually shipped the engine back to Honda in Japan
Oh, right.
Yeah.
to get
They
checked
have
over.
said it's a fuel issue of some kind, they believe, or a fuel system issue. But yeah, that's all. They didn't know any details of it.
Red Bull have got to get on top of this quick if they want to win this title fight, because Mercedes aren't going to be that far behind for long, and they weren't too far behind in this race.
Was this the safety car restart, or the safety car period when Schumacher had his moment?
Oh yes, that was sketchy.
Yeah. No action was taken against anyone. They believe it was just concertinaing up, but something is going to be looked at apparently for future races to try and stop it from happening.
When I slow it down, I just can't see the gap between his car and the... Is it an Alfa Romeo?
I'm not even sure.
It's just so close.
It's Magello all over again, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thankfully not as
I don't-
bad.
no, I don't know how you stop it, because the guys at the back are reacting to what's happening 10 cars in front. It's like on a motorway. One person pulls in front of you, brakes, and then half a mile down the road it ends up someone parking.
Yeah.
Like this, I don't know how you fix it unless you mandate a speed for safety car restarts, or I don't know how you deal with it.
Yeah, they're trying to say that you can't accelerate and decelerate or quickly or slowly. You have to keep more of a steady speed, but they've always said that and they don't worry about it. So it needs something a bit a bit harsher on them. If they're doing things like that, they need to be penalised.
Yeah, Perez was behind Russell at this point, but took him quite nice into turn 11. He made George defend into turn 9, which he didn't need to do, and that just kind of screwed him. And George was told not to fight him.
Yeah, the interesting media message, which is correct, but also
a
bit boring.
What was it? Management is more important than position.
That's a good line, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder if they script these things and plan them out beforehand.
Well, no one told George, did they? Because he said, that's not what I want to hear.
Yeah, that was a good response.
Yeah.
Race kind of died a death here until Lance Stroll started being as usual. He put a massive lunge on Bottas at turn 3, which put Bottas off.
Yes.
No contact. No contact though, but he took the position off him. Then he started his defensive driving, which was a lot to be desired. He was weaving down the straights. I think he was weaving in a couple of braking zones, and he got a 5-second penalty for the weaving on the straights.
Yes.
Quite aggressively. I would note that Mick Schumacher weaves in front of Zhao a bit at some point in the race. And I thought that was very, very similar. Different part of the track. So if you give one to Stroll, I think they need to be on it. But you can't see everything. I'm just watching this in the benefit of hindsight after the race. But
yeah,
I'm glad there was a penalty for weaving, because it does annoy me sometimes when that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You're going to advocate a penalty for weaving.
That's a very good point.
Write that down. The one we did go on Bottas, though, which I think got the penalty for, was well sketchy, because Bottas had to slam on the brakes.
Yeah.
Because he saw his DRS shot like 100 metres before the braking zone. So that was well sketchy. So
it's slightly different to weaving to avoid a slipstream. A few car lengths ahead, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what Stroll said he was doing.
Yeah, but it's too close.
Yeah, his complete lack of awareness also means that he doesn't realise how close Bottas is.
Do you know what? His lack of awareness was a thing in Formula 3. Like, he was always very quick and talented, but he did always have a bit of a awareness issue back then. It's weird how it's coming up to light again this race. Well, this season.
Yeah.
And actually last year as well.
I was going to say that the visibility is poor this year compared to last year, but it's the same for everyone, and no one else seems to have the same issue.
Yep. Bizarre.
Alex Albon's the late star of this race, I think.
Yeah.
He does the entire race on a single set of tyres, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but impressive, because his pace was good. And he pits on the final lap for a set of softs, and he gets himself a point.
Also, did you see what happened in the pits at his final stop?
Yes, and I think there might be some real changes after this.
Yes. Yeah, the fans were coming into the pit lane whilst Albon was going down the pit lane on his way out of the pits.
Really?
For those who haven't seen that.
I have not seen that. How do I see this?
Yeah, it's there's clips on Reddit and online. Basically, they apparently allow VIP ticket holders in to get in front of the podium. And apparently they did it on the last lap because nobody normally pits on the last lap. And then Albon did. So he's driving down the pit lane where there's like 30-40 fans standing right at the end. Which is just, oh my god, you're just asking for a disaster there at some point.
I'm seeing the images now. Still images. That is sketchy.
The video's worse than the stills. It's well sketchy. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's a common thing and we just never see it. Yeah, that won't be happening again, I don't think.
Yeah. I'm very happy.
I said as well 2017. Sorry, Tom.
After you.
In 2017 in the Australian Grand Prix, a similar thing happened. Fans were on trackside during the cool-down lap at the end of the race, which they shouldn't be until the cars are back in the pits.
Bloody Aussies.
Yeah.
Weren't even allowed on the track at Silverstone last year. It's gutted.
Yeah.
Gutted.
He can't rip a piece off of Mansell's Williams.
I was wanting to go for the big Pirelli signs because that's what happens at Knock Hill every year.
I was just going to say that happens at Knock Hill. All those Dunlop signs go missing.
Yes.
Someone in Scotland's got them on the mantelpiece.
Basically, anything's not bolted down gets lifted. But there was videos after Australia, people doing that there. Basically, they were just, how can any barrier, like the Zoom barriers and everything, they were taken.
Really?
Yeah. And someone posted on Reddit a big chunk of Sebastian Vettel's car that they found at the side of the road and took home. So they're like, what part is this? And they're like, it might be a bit of wing, maybe a bit of the floor.
It's definitely a bit at the front.
Yeah. It was like, don't touch the sharp, jaggy carbon fibre bit, but it looks dangerous. So, Charles Leclerc, easy win. Takes fastest lap on the final lap, which Alonso almost nicked from him.
Yeah.
Alonso tried the long first stint, didn't he? As I think Magnussen, and it just didn't work.
When he went to the medium tyre, they just sort of dissolved.
Yeah, the medium was crap, basically.
And Alpine's strategy for Alonso was sort of around that. I liked his radio comment where it was Gasly trying to get past Stroll, was it? And he was like,
yeah.
I mean, I just don't get it.
Yeah. Why doesn't he overtake?
Yeah, that was really good.
Oh, there was Gasly got compromised at one point during the race. Verstappen came out the pits in front of him, and you could see he had to back off.
Oh, yes.
Because if it was anybody else, he would have overtaken him, but you could see he realises, it's Max, I need to back off, and then he ends up letting, I think, a Williams around outside of him.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what the car was, but yeah, somebody got past him for it, didn't they?
Yeah. The overcut seemed to work here quite well, because the warm-up on the tyres seemed terrible.
It was quite reminiscent of Formula 2, where they don't have the tyre warmers, where the first lap or two, they're a bit stuffed coming out of the pits and have to be very careful. One of the reasons I'd like to see the tyre warmers gone, which we're still not sure of if it's going to happen or not. They keep saying it is, and then they keep putting it back a year.
Next year, yeah.
Hope so.
So, double points finish for McLaren, somehow.
Yeah.
Another bunch of points as well for Ocon and Bottas, who managed to get in the points. Albon took 10th, and Russell got his first podium of the season, and, well, his first proper podium, I think.
But on-track podium.
Yes. That's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah, to go second in the championship.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I'd missed that. That's wild.
Just shows how superior Leclerc is this season. So far, anyway.
Oh, he's another level. Which is very satisfying. He is the chosen son. He's on this longest deal ever with Ferrari. Now it's paying off.
Yeah.
I just feel sorry for Sainz, although he completely messed up on his own this weekend, I think, in the race anyway.
Yeah. He is apparently getting a multi-year contract. It's pretty much agreed.
Sainz.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Due to be announced anytime soon. Because we did speculate at the start of the year that this might be he might have to earn something this year, but it looks like they're quite happy with him going to give him it.
Please.
A multi-year deal.
I hope they do that before the next round and therefore instill some confidence.
Yeah.
Next round is Imola as well.
Yeah. Back to Italy.
I worry that if Sainz is not on top form, I would still like to see a battle at the front.
Yeah.
And Ferrari could start implementing team orders soon. You don't want that.
Yes.
Well, Leclerc's leading the Drivers' Championship after 3 races, 34 points. And he is 38 points ahead of his teammate. So, there's still, I think, 520 points left to play for.
I know it's very early, but you just sort of think, if Sainz doesn't get a win in the next 3 races, it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perez ahead of Verstappen by 5 points as well. But you've got to think Red Bull getting top of that at some point.
Yeah.
What I'm really interested for Imola, though, is where are Mercedes going to be?
Yeah.
Because their car is rubbish because of the porpoise. But you would think that Imola isn't really a track you're going to get much of that.
It's got a massive long straight, though.
Yeah. You're going to get some going into turn 1.
Yeah, but the rest of the lap.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. You've got me hyped now.
That's what I'm here for.
What I hope is
But-
they might be closer in qualifying then, but under race conditions, as soon as a Red Bull's near them, it'll just get past them on the straight.
Yeah, that's true. Straight line speed of the Red Bull is still crazy.
If they had that old chicane that they used to do in the 90s, just after the final corner, maybe not. But
Is that still there? Or
yeah,
is
it's there for bikes.
Yeah.
But I don't know if motorcycles race there. I'm not up to speed with my Italian superbikes. But I believe the layout is there as an option, and that's what it's for.
I just think it's going to be interesting because it's basically the big weakness is going to be negated for 90% of the lap. So it's going to be interesting to see if they've actually got good mechanical grip. I know they're struggling with downforce, but I think there's going to be bits of this track that could be really strong at.
If they're the third quickest still, though, it could be that it shows us other issues.
Yeah.
Who else is not particularly quick in a straight line that might be good there? Williams?
Anyone with a Mercedes, it seems.
Yeah. Aston Martin to the front.
Aston Martin to the front.
Yeah.
That's such a weird team for me because they're also investing a lot of money into F1. They're building a new factory and the like, but they're just going nowhere.
I mean, someone was going to be a big loser with these rules change. It's them at the minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just, it's 3 races in, but that was a disaster operationally that weekend. Old Otmar has made the right choice there.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I don't think I'd like to work under Big Papa Stroll, but
No.
just noticed that Vettel isn't even on the driver's standings for this year.
Well, he's not done anything yet, has he?
So that was quite painful.
Yes. Because Hulkenberg hasn't even got a point, has he, yet?
No.
Well, so yet. He's not going to get any, but... So he's got no points, but he's still ahead of Vettel.
I tell you, I thought doing okay still.
Yeah.
Zhao. Guan Yu.
It's a bit under the radar this weekend.
It's under the radar.
It is.
Yeah, but 11th is not too bad. Like,
No.
it's ahead of both the Haas cars, right?
Yeah, not too far away from Bottas in pace and positions as well,
Yeah.
in terms of time on track. Who's
What I'm
quite
trying
a
to
few
say
positions
is-
back, but
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is he's ahead of expectations at this point.
oh, definitely.
And
I
for
really
me, Mick
couldn't
Schumacher's a
expect
bit
anything
below
from him.
expectations. But that could be a bit harsh. But
Yeah, I'd agree with that though. But we have to wait and see. Just the fact that
yep, too early.
Magnussen's back in the team, but it is a brand new car,
Mm-hmm.
so just have to see.
They had a good little fight at the end of the race. Schumacher got in front of him again. I think
Yeah.
Magnussen put on the mediums and had an Alonso problem.
Yeah,
Thumbs up, thumbs down, Albert Park.
I'm in the middle.
yeah. I was going to say, thumbs sideways.
6 out of 10.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it when I was watching it, but I wouldn't say that the changes really did what I think they wanted them to do. I think the cars have been proven to be a success because they were falling through the fast sections, which they never could do before. But
Yeah,
the track itself, I think, still maybe needs a rethink.
Yep.
But on Termo, predictions.
Oh, can I just say another
because
thing?
we've
Go for it.
What's with AlphaTauri this year?
yeah,
That's below par. And we're talking about the Red Bull straight line speed. I think they show that it's not just the engine, right? It's the philosophy of the car.
yeah,
If it was a big power plant and a power advantage, they would be further up the field, I think.
yeah.
I don't
Red Bull do run low downforce, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's still a big difference.
I don't think you see... Oh, no one's talking about the AlphaTauri straight line speed.
No, 9th and 15th again this weekend.
Very, very average.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame. They were interesting over the weekend. They were talking about Gasly and his contract, and our favourite doctor, Mr. Marco, was speaking and basically says if we don't give him a Red Bull drive next year, I think we'll lose him permanently. They Which makes you wonder, would they bin Perez for him? Because I think actually Perez has done really well at the start of this year. He was within a 10 for qualifying in Max this week. He beat him last week. He's got another podium again this week. There's not really any reason for Red Bulls on this performance to replace Perez.
Is Perez not under contract?
No.
For next year?
I think this is his last year.
Ah.
I think he was on 1-year deals.
Ah, yes, he is.
So Gasly's out of contract at the end of this year. So
One to keep an eye on throughout the year, that is. But you're right. You would sign Perez at the minute.
yeah, unless you want someone who's really going to push Max, but then would Gasly actually do that in a Red Bull? Because he's team leader at AlphaTauri. He's not going to be team leader at Red Bull.
No.
Yeah, but the problem with AlphaTauri is it'll never be quicker than a Red Bull. That's by design.
Yeah. I think Gasly has to go to another team. But I don't think Red Bull's the one for him.
McLaren will sign him.
I still say Alpine. He's going to end up there.
No, fair enough. What do you think? Oh, because Alonso could end this year, right?
Yeah, his contract's up the end of this year. I think Ocon's might be up as well.
No.
But is he not?
He's on a 3-year deal, which started this year, maybe.
Ah, wow. That's a surprise. But Alonso, that's still life in the old dog yet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I could see him going for another year. Anyway, that's 2023 silly season.
Nearly there. We're also nearly there with British Touring Cars.
I'll have to do a special
yes.
episode about that.
Season, I think the season testing started now. So the
Today.
first
Yes.
race is in a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There
All
was
the-
some sad
all-
news as well.
Oh.
No Sam Smelt.
I thought you were being sincere then for a second.
Oh,
Yes,
no.
it is. Who are we going to adopt?
For £3 a month, you can adopt a British Touring Car driver. Yeah, we'll need to find someone.
Yeah.
I think all the drivers have been announced, haven't they?
Yep,
Yes, yeah. 29 car grid.
allegedly.
So,
Yes.
So I think we'll do a touring car preview next week then.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
can get into the details, the 47 sponsor names on each car.
Yes!
Yeah.
Wondering why 3 different drivers in the same team have different team names. All of that would be
Yes.
great. Can't wait. So next up, Imola. Excited?
Yes.
Yep.
Always like a bit of
Yeah, I
Imola.
love a bit of Imola, yeah.
Ferrari 1-2.
It would be great for the sport and just for an Italian team at Italian track.
Vai,
no.
Forza Ferrari. Yeah, I think it will happen.
Yeah, I honestly think Mercedes might pull something out, but Ferrari are going to be in, I think, first at least. I think Mercedes are going to be quite strong.
Well,
My
that's a bold prediction.
educated opinion,
Mhm.
my qualified opinion there.
Looking forward to it.
Well,
Yep.
our predictions have been terrible so far, so I'll say Verstappen.
I'm going to say Sainz.
Oh,
That
you're
would be
right.
good.
That would be nice. That'd be good. First win, Italy. Home race for the team.
I also
Yeah,
hope it
that'll be-
rains though and throws a spanner in the works.
Yeah, it's always fun.
So, we're back in, I think, 2 weeks for that.
Mhm.
And we'll be back next week then for a touring car preview, which is what everyone's excited
Yeah.
about.
I'm more excited for doing that podcast preview than the Formula 1 race.
Yeah,
And
same.
I know, I saw your face light up as soon as I mentioned touring cars. You're really not into the F1 this year, are you?
I am, I'm digging it, but British Touring
Can't
Car
beat that
starts.
tin tops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that makes me feel as
If
time,
it-
but
If F1 had ginsters plastered all over it, then you'd be more interested.
and on that note,
Alright. On that note,
Mm.
that'll do it for this week. So we'll see you again. And thanks for downloading. Leave us a review, subscribe, share, all the usual stuff. Bye.
goodbye.
See you later.
I need to cough so bad.